So in this video I'm going to go through redox half equations by going through some examples of reduction half equations and oxidation half equations. Okay, starting off with reduction half equations. Remember, reduction is the gain of electrons. So the first example, we have magnesium 2 plus gaining 2 electrons to give magnesium. Secondly, we have sodium ions gaining 1 electron to give sodium, and then iron 3 plus gaining 3 electrons to give iron. So oxidation half equations, remember oxidation is the loss of electrons. So first example, we have chloride ions going to chlorine plus 2 electrons, bromide ions going to bromine plus 2 electrons, and oxide ions going to oxygen plus 4 electrons. So the examples that you come across won't always be as simple as these. So next I'm going to go through some slightly trickier examples. So let's say we wanted to write a reduction half equation for this manganate 7 ion, permanganate ion going to manganese 2. So the 7 tells us that the oxidation state of the manganese is +7, and the 2 tells us the oxidation state of the manganese is +2. So notice on the left hand side we have oxygens, and the first step is that these oxygens get converted to water. So we've got 4 oxygens, which means on the right hand side we have them going to 4 water molecules. The second thing we need to do is to balance the hydrogens. So notice on the left hand side we don't have any, and the 4 water molecules have generated 8 hydrogens. So on the left hand side we need 8 H+. Okay, so everything is now balanced apart from the charges. So on the left hand side we have an overall charge of -1 plus 8, which gives +7, and on the right hand side the overall charge is +2. So we need to balance out the overall charge with electrons. So on the left hand side, to do that we need 5 electrons. So now the overall charge on the left is +2, which is the same as on the right hand side where it's also +2. Okay, the second example, write a reduction half equation for the dichromate 6 ion going to the chromium 3 ion. So what we need to do first for this example is to balance the chromium. So on the left hand side we have 2 of them, so we need to have 2 on the right hand side. And again we need to balance the oxygens with water molecules. So on the left we have 7 oxygens, which means we need 7 water molecules on the right hand side. Then we need to balance the hydrogens. So those 7 water molecules have generated 14 H+, so they need to go on the left hand side. And finally we need to balance the charges. So on the left, the overall charge we have -2 plus 14 gives +12, and on the right hand side we have an overall charge of +6 because there are 2 chromium 3 ions. So to balance 12 with 6 on the left hand side we need another 6 electrons. So that's the overall balanced equation. Okay, an example of an oxidation half equation then. Say we wanted to write one for the sulfite ion getting oxidized to the sulfate ion. So it's the same as we've done before. Firstly we need to balance the oxygens with water. So we need 1 water molecule on the left hand side, and then we need to balance the hydrogens. So that water molecule has generated 2 H's, so we need 2H plus on the right hand side. And then finally we need to balance the charges again. So on the left hand side the overall charge is -2, and on the right hand side the overall charge is 0, minus 2 plus 2. So on the right hand side we need another 2 electrons to balance the charges, so that's the overall equation.